Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. If you watched my unboxing video on October 1st for A Colorful Life Designs, I got really excited about the idea of using the Arctic Snow stencil for a shaker card with the Winter Wonderland blend card bling. So excited, in fact, that I just finished filming that and I didn't want to forget the idea, so I figured why not just keep filming, and we're going to try it out today. So I have the Arctic Snow stencil, which is really pretty, and then I've got this piece of clear acetate. It's pretty thick. It's acrylic, maybe, I don't know. I get this from clearbags.com. I will have the link to this as well as all of my other supplies in the description box below. You just have to click the more button and it will expand the box and you'll be able to see all of the information that I've provided. So I also have this glitter glaze from Brutus Monroe. This is called Grace's Christmas. It's probably not available anymore. Just use whatever kind of embossing paste you've got. I wasn't planning on doing just a glitter like this, but this is what I have in blue. I didn't feel like mixing up a color like I sometimes do. I just wanted to play. So let us first take this. We're going to tape this down here so that we have secured this properly so it doesn't move around. Taping it to the back, and I'm going to bring it around to the front. Well, a little bit to the front. There we go. I don't want it to cover up any of the stencil. I'm going to try. There we go. That's fine. Okay, we just want to keep that in place like that. I think I was going to use my gel plate to hold this down further, but I don't really want to do that because I don't want to get the paste onto my plate. So I'm going to just kind of stick this here like this. Got some more tape here like that. Maybe a little bit more. I have different washi tape all over the place and I'm just grabbing pieces. Okay, this should be okay. A little bit more on the top. Just want to make sure that it's secure. And like I said, I like to use my gel press to do this, but I don't want to do that with a glitter because it probably will be tricky to get off. I don't know. And this is not the time to experiment with something like that. Okay, so I've got my glitter glaze, I've got a palette knife, and I'm not going to scoop it this way because you can see that there's a step down. So we're going to use the back. And we're going to need a lot of this stuff, but the excess can just go back into the jar when we're done. And this is going to take quite a while to dry because it's on this clear, thick acetate or plastic. Just going to make sure that we go to the edge. I actually think that the glitter might work out nice because it won't be completely opaque, so maybe you'll see some of the card bling that we use through it. We'll see what happens. It's fun to experiment. We'll probably wind up cutting this panel down, which is totally fine because we do have a border up here and down here where it's hidden. And I'm going to just wind up die cutting probably a frame to build up around it so that we can hide our foam if we use foam. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So it's super slick, of course. So you want to be careful. It's not going to hold the glitter the way cardstock would. So you just want to make sure that you don't pull it off of the plastic and have any kind of unadorned areas. Just smoothing this out. I'm doing this a little bit different than I would a regular paste because it's glitter. And like I said, it's super slick, the plastic. And I don't need it to be as perfectly smooth as I normally would because it's a glitter. All right, I think that that looks pretty good. So I am going to pull this up. You need to wash this immediately. You do not want this to stay on your palette knife or your stencil. So make sure that you have a basin of water nearby or you can get to a sink. And we're going to carefully pull this up. Careful, careful. remove this washi from the back. There we go. Take a look at that. That's cool. And you can see those snowflakes. All right, we're gonna let this dry and then we'll move on. A lot of time has passed since I first applied that paste, and I decided to switch over to voiceover mode. But look at how beautiful that is, and it's so striking against that light blue cardstock that I have. It's really beautiful. I have 2 rectangle dies, and I taped them together with washi tape to create a thin frame that we're going to use to hide our foam tape that we're going to use to make our shaker card. So you can see that that's a nice, it's about 1/4 of an inch wide, which will completely hide our foam tape that we will apply later on. So I have 1/8 of an inch Redline tape, and I'm going to apply this to the frame all around the edge so that we can then put it on top of our glittery, beautiful acetate panel that we have. So now I'm going to just try my best to remove the backer paper, and I'm struggling a little bit, so don't worry, you won't have to watch me do the whole thing. There we go. Now we can pull it away easily and just lay it right on top. This is a really strong tape. I decided it was a little easier to put the acetate onto the frame as opposed to the frame onto the acetate. Part of that is because, the acetate is clear in a lot of areas where there isn't any paste, and it just worked out a little bit better for me. I did apply it a little crooked, but not a big deal. We just snip those pieces off and no one will ever know but you and I. And there you go, look at that. So that frame is the same color of blue as the backer piece. So I have foam adhesive strips from scrapbook.com. These are 3 millimeters tall, which is really great for a shaker. Because it allows the sequin pieces to move around really nicely. And the width of the tape is 1/8 of an inch. So again, it's the same as that Redline tape, and it will be hidden completely that we created. So we're just going to apply this all around the edges. You need to make sure that you have no open spaces. You want your ends of the foam to be touching the other ends, because if you don't do that, you have the potential to lose your shaker bits. So we're going to make sure that we snug those pieces up against each other really well. Make sure that you're not kind of missing the frame and going past it. And now I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. And again, make sure that it's nice and snug so that, and you can see that I didn't. Do as I say, not as I do. So I've got that little piece in my fingers right now, and I'm just going to put that in like catty-cornered, just to kind of seal that off, because to try and get a little piece wedged in there would be chaotic. So that's the perfect way to kind of seal off your corners. And you can do that anytime, just to make sure that everything is sealed really well. So just kind of add a piece to a corner and just have it span the corner so that you don't have any gaps. I grabbed 2 colors of card bling from A Colorful Life Designs. I have Crystal Iris Skyline and Whiteout mix. They're so pretty. They're perfect for this Arctic, icy kind of card that we got going on here, and they're going to look really beautiful underneath all of that glittery goodness that we have going on. So now I'm going to remove this release paper. This release paper comes off quite nice, but you don't have to watch me do that. And now I'm going to add that same pale blue colored cardstock to the back of this to seal off our shaker window. Push down really well, try to line things up as good as you can. It can be a little fiddly, but you just want to be careful, and you can always trim off any excess pieces that you had. But look at that. See, that 3 millimeter is really great for getting a lot of movement with your shaker bits. Love it. That's probably my favorite thickness to work with. So now I have some BetterPress plates from Spellbinders. This is the Home for Christmas Sentiments. These are by Yanis Makula. She is so talented. I love her collections. And I used Blue Belle, VersaFine Clair, to create the Let It Snow sentiment. And you can see I just used scrap. Now that is the cotton cardstock that you get with the BetterPress that Spellbinders recommends. And I botched some of my sentiments. So I said, all right, let's be real, guys. That cardstock is not cheap. I don't want to waste it. So I was like, let's just see if we can use the other side and if it's still going to look good. And again, it's a secret between you and me. No one else will ever know. It worked out perfectly, and you can't tell that I botched some sentiments on the other side. Worked out great. So I grabbed some more glue, and this is just liquid glue. You don't have to use anything crazy like the Redline or anything like that for this part, but check out that beautiful card that we have, you guys. Such a fun one. I really like using paste on acetate and then making it into a shaker. I think you get some really cool effects, and those snowflakes really stand out once you have it on that light blue cardstock. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Got lots of other shaker cards, lots of things with stenciling on this channel, so make sure you check out my playlist to see them all. I appreciate you being here. I will see you all very soon. Be well, stay safe, peace out.